What if I told you the perfect couch gaming experience doesn't require a PlayStation or an Xbox? Imagine a world where all your games live in one place. Mods are a given, and upgrades happen on your schedule, not a console manufacturer's. Now, let's get one thing straight. I love consoles. I grew up with them, spent countless hours, and genuinely think they're fantastic for a lot of people. But these days, every time I consider buying a new gaming console, a list of drawbacks immediately springs to mind. We're talking about limited upgrade paths, games that somehow cost more than their PC counterparts. And then there's that perpetual tug-of-war between performance and fidelity modes, forcing you to choose. As someone who writes about PCs for a living, I understand that under the hood, consoles are essentially small, specialized gaming PCs. They just lack the inherent freedom that truly defines a PC. Then there was my personal situation. I already have a powerful desktop rig, perfect for work and competitive gaming with friends. But after long hours at my desk, I just wanted to kick back on the couch, controller in hand, and lose myself in some epic single-player adventure on my big screen TV. The problem? That meant either dragging my gargantuan desktop into the living room every time, or building an entirely new machine. This wasn't just about convenience. It was about crafting something compact, personal, and undeniably mine. I've always had a soft spot for small form factor builds. They're like solving a satisfying puzzle, a true flex of engineering efficiency, and when you get them just right, they look incredibly cool. This project was my chance to merge my love for tinkering with that desire for a console-like living room setup, but without the actual console. My plan was straightforward: salvage as many parts as I could from my hardware stash, buying only what was absolutely necessary. That meant starting with the CPU, an Intel Core i7-11700K I already had from a previous build, paired with a Gigabyte Z590 Mini IDX motherboard and a solid 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Storage was also covered, with a low-capacity Samsung NVMe SSD to boot Windows and a spacious 2 terabyte Kingston SSD dedicated entirely to my ever-growing game library. The one thing I absolutely had to replace was my old Mini IDX case. While I adored its aesthetics, the riser cable was becoming unreliable, and I wanted something truly easy to carry and travel with. After a bit of digging, I landed on the Deepcool CH160. It's surprisingly small, incredibly easy to work in, and here's the best part. It cost me under $50. That's fantastic value for a case that actually respects your sanity during cable management. It even comes with a neat handle at the top. You might struggle to find one if you're in the US, but where I live, it's a hidden gem. When it came to graphics, I wasn't aiming for 4K Ultra settings bragging rights. Plus, in today's market, tracking down a genuinely powerful GPU at a reasonable price often feels like chasing a myth. I simply needed something that could comfortably handle 1080p and 1440p at 60 frames per second or more, with the occasional boost from DLSS for the heavier hitters in my library. And that's where the NVIDIA RTX 4060 came in, specifically a compact single-fan model from Zotac. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. The 4060? That card? The one everyone roasted when it launched? Yep, that's the one. When it hit the shelves, critics slammed it for its narrow memory bus, relatively modest VRAM, and for offering what many saw as only a minor bump over the previous Gen 3060. Even in our own reviews, we found that GPU pretty underwhelming at its original asking price. But here's the crucial point. Context matters. On paper, the RTX 4060 certainly isn't a record breaker, but in a small form factor build where efficiency, thermals, and physical size matter just as much as raw performance, it makes an incredible amount of sense. It sips power, runs exceptionally cool and quiet, and in real-world gaming at 1080p or 1440p, it truly punches far above the internet's worst takes. Throw in NVIDIA's frame generation technology like DLSS, and suddenly it's handling demanding titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor far better than the memes would have you believe. It's no surprise, then, that the RTX 4060 is currently the second most popular discrete GPU on Steam's hardware survey. It delivers where it counts for a lot of people. Here's the exciting part. My mini console PC has already proven itself. I've been lounging on the couch, playing games from my Steam, Epic, and Xbox Game Pass libraries without ever worrying about whether they're available on a particular platform. I can tweak settings to my liking, install mods, emulate older consoles to relive classics, and even stream content without juggling multiple boxes or subscriptions. Is it the most powerful PC I've ever built? Absolutely not. But that entirely misses the point. This little box cost me less than a brand new console and delivers vastly more versatility. And when I eventually decide it's time for a GPU upgrade, I don't need to wait for the next console generation. I just swap the card. So, while consoles still make perfect sense for those who simply want a plug-and-play gaming solution, for me, the trade-offs are no longer worth it. I get cheaper games thanks to frequent sales and discounts, the unmatched flexibility of customizing my experience down to the smallest detail, and the peace of mind knowing I can fix or upgrade my system whenever I choose. Building this mini gaming PC wasn't just a fun project. It was tangible proof that you really can have that ideal living room console experience without giving up the incredible flexibility and freedom that make PC gaming so truly great. Honestly, I think that's a much better deal. What do you think? Has this ever tempted you? Or are you firmly in the console camp? Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the ever-evolving world of tech.